The Vancouver Canucks are a confusing team sometimes. On one hand, you think, okay, they got some pieces. They got Quinn Hughes. They got, Pettersson still. I think that they can make some good moves. They have Hronek. I really like Hronek, by the way. I think he's a really good player. He played really good this well, and especially in Quinn Hughes' absence. I mean, I thought he was really good this season. And I don't really understand what the plan is for the Vancouver Canucks going forward. Because I truly do believe that they are in a rock and a hard place. You talk about here's the thing. If Quinn Hughes is going to leave, you are in a very difficult position. You are in a position where, you might be looking at a rebuild. I know not a lot of Canucks fans don't want to hear that, but it's just true, right? If you lose that caliber of a player, it's going to be a difficult circumstance, and you better get out ahead of the rebuild. But on the other hand, maybe they can keep him around. This video isn't necessarily going to go around Quinn Hughes, or it kind of is. I mean, I feel like everything around the Vancouver Canucks circulates around Quinn Hughes to some degree, but this trade rumor really has me puzzled of this new information coming out about Hronek. So we have Canucks fans split over Filip Hronek trade rumors. Speculation surrounding Filip Hronek's future in Vancouver has picked up steam this last week, as multiple reports are suggesting the Canucks might consider a trade that gets high return this summer. If the right-shot defenseman is actually being shot by the Canucks, it could be an intriguing decision. Okay, if it is high return, I wouldn't be against it, but here's the question. Filip Hronek will probably be the best player in the deal. If you trade the best player in the deal, you're probably not going to win the deal. Like, sure, the Vancouver Canucks could get like a lot of really great prospects and picks. Perhaps a center, I guess they would be looking for. I'm just not sure if it would match the caliber of Hronek. I really do think when you trade a higher caliber player, you almost never win those trades. So they should only be done when your franchise is rebuilding, in my opinion. Now, to be fair, Hronek's his no trade clause is kicking in soon. So perhaps that's why, but his name has been thrown out there lately, but maybe that's probably just the Canucks perhaps testing the waters and seeing if a team would be willing to overpay. It is certainly true that the Vancouver Canucks need a center, but you could say that about any team around the league that, pretty much desperate for centers to the point that a guy like Yanni Gourde is going to be massively overpaid, if you understand what I mean. The article continues, many fans are puzzled by the idea of moving Hronek, especially after his standout play during Quinn Hughes' absence last season. Hronek played some of the best hockey last season, and questions about how a trade would impact Hughes' thoughts about the team are fair. The team has already battling decisions that will make Hughes want to stick around, and it doesn't seem logical to move Hronek if Hughes wants him as a partner. Still, others view Hronek as a valuable trade chip that could fill a glaring need at center. Rumors suggest Vancouver could trade him in a package deal for a second-line center. Now, they continue to talk about doing this deal rather than parting with top prospects like Willander. I don't know about that. Again, let's remember, we have to remember what Hronek is right now. Like, what he is right now. He's not a prospect. You don't know whether prospects are going to work out. Now, that doesn't mean you want to be willy-nilly with your prospects and just throw them to the wind. But Hronek right now, he plays like 24 minutes a night for the Vancouver Canucks. Like, he plays a lot for the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, you gotta be careful here, in my opinion, right? If you're gonna get rid of a 24-minute-a-night guy, got a little bit of offense, he's got some size, he shoots right. Let's remember, defensemen that shoot right do hold a decent amount of value. That's what he is right now, and he's not even that old. He's like 27, right? So this is a player. He's not aging out of the league right now. Maybe if he was 35, I'd say, yeah, go at it. But it's just, I don't know. This doesn't make sense to me. But again, on this channel, I always encourage disagreement. Drop it in the comments if you are an advocate of the Canucks moving him like these rumors say. Drop it in the comments. I have no problem with that. I guess from my perspective, the way that I look at it is the cap is going to be going up. He's getting like $7 million. I'm going to put his contract on the screen right now. He's getting like $7 million. The cap is going up, way up. He's a proper top 4 defenseman. Honestly, you could even say he's close to top pair in terms of the minutes that the Vancouver Canucks are getting him. I'm not saying he is a top pair, but if you give a guy 24 minutes a night, he's top pair on your team. That's a massive, massive, massive hole that the Vancouver Canucks would be opening up. I just don't get it. But if you get it, drop it in the comments. Now, the actual quote from the insider is, with the Canucks surplus being on defense, Hronek could be the most tradable piece before his NMC kicks in. There's some inherent risk involved with trading him, obviously, though, as he's formed undeniable chemistry with Hughes and eats up a lot of minutes on the back end. Hronek, 27, has 7 seasons remaining with Vancouver Canucks. Let's keep this in mind, though, guys, because he's going to be like 34 by the time, or 34, 35 by the time that contract is done. That's not even that bad. Listen, when it comes to centers and the National Hockey League, I genuinely think that you're just going to have to start to develop them. You're really just going to have to start and draft and develop them. You're going to have to go through the draft, and I'm typically not a fan of drafting for need, but you're going to have to start drafting centers for need. Essentially going through the draft and drafting guys that you genuinely think are going to be NHL centermen, because just giving up a massive piece of your organization because you need to fill a center, like, I understand the logic behind what this insider's saying. I just don't really like it, right? Just draft a center, develop a center. You know, you can get underrated guys. You know, hopefully somebody develops well for you. You can find a guy that might not be doing that well with this franchise. Maybe he's a little bit more affordable or something like that. I'm personally against the Canucks overpaying for a center or trading their 24-minute-a-night defenseman for that center, in my opinion. Anyways, I am going to leave the video there. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.